But meanwhile, the federal government has reacted to the publication by United States Embassy in Abuja regarding the security situation in Nigeria on social media.
Another U.S. Embassy advisory, another Nigerian government denial. On Sunday, the United States Embassy in Nigeria issued a security alert, warning its citizens to avoid non-official visits to government and military facilities in Abuja. They even restricted their own staff and families. The reason? Heightened global tensions, yes, but also a growing sense that Nigeria's capital is no longer as safe as it pretends to be. But by Monday morning, our own government was out with a statement, proudly announcing no cause for alarm, they said. No imminent threat, they insisted. And just like that, another opportunity to tell the truth was buried under PR. Let's pause and ask ourselves, who should the people believe? Because here we are, barely 48 hours after a suicide bombing in Borno killed over 20 people. The same Boko Haram that government claims is technically defeated, still walking into crowded areas and blowing innocent Nigerians into pieces. And yet, somehow, the nerve center of this fragile republic is one of the safest capitals in the world. Are we supposed to clap? This is not the first time foreign governments have issued security alerts. And every time they do, our leaders get defensive, as if a warning is an insult, as if caution is conspiracy, as if acknowledging risk means weakness. But let me tell you what's weak. Denial. Denial is weak. Pretending that all is well when embassies are locking down. Pretending that our intelligence systems are flawless when markets are raided in broad daylight. Pretending that heightened vigilance is unnecessary when even security personnel are being ambushed across the country. What the U.S. Embassy did is standard protocol. When their analysts detect risk, even if it's just based on pattern, not a confirmed plot, they warn their people. That's called responsibility. That's called accountability. But in Nigeria, issuing a warning is treated as sabotage. Let's be clear, this wasn't just about Abuja. The U.S. advisory came after a global rise in threats, including U.S. airstrikes on Iranian military infrastructure and an uptick in radical group chatter. But that doesn't mean Nigeria is innocent. It means we are vulnerable because our security architecture is overstretched, underfunded, and overwhelmed. Just last week, a Boko Haram bomber walked into a crowd in Borno and detonated. 23 dead, dozens more injured. And this in 2025, not 2014, after billions spent, after years of counterterrorism, after soldiers begged for better weapons, better pay, better strategy. And now, instead of accepting the advisory as a reminder to step up, we're rushing to paint a picture of calm. This is the same Abuja that's had attacks in the past, the same city that has witnessed coordinated prison breaks, the same FCT that has seen villages on its outskirts raided by bandits. How can we forget Kuje prison, or the attacks near Gwagwalada, or the panic in Nyanya? So why is the government so quick to declare all is well? Minister of Information, Mohammed Idris, came out swinging. He said there's no imminent or specific threat, that our intelligence agencies are doing a great job, that Abuja remains safe for citizens, residents, and diplomats. But here's the problem. Nigerians don't feel safe. Safety isn't about what government says. It's about what people live. When residents avoid staying out late, when churches and mosques hire their own security, when hotels invest more in dogs and metal detectors than decor, that's not normal. That's not safe. And when people hear their government argue more with warnings than with terrorists, they lose trust. They tune out. They stop listening. And that's dangerous. Because in a real emergency, nobody believes the boy who cried, peace. Let's not forget, in 2011, the UN building in Abuja was bombed. In 2014, Nyanya Motor Park was bombed. In 2022, Kuje prison was attacked. The FCT is not immune, and pretending it is reckless. Nobody is saying Abuja is under attack today, but that's not the point. The point is that preparedness beats denial, transparency beats spin, and the truth, even when it's hard, beats propaganda every time. So what should the Nigerian government have done? They should have said, yes, we are aware of the U.S. advisory. We are reviewing all intelligence. We are taking this seriously, and we will enhance security presence at key public and government locations in the meantime. That's it. No shame in that. No embarrassment in being honest. But instead, we get defensive speeches. We get reassurances without evidence. We get ministers telling us Abuja is safe from behind fortified gates, the same way they said the elections were safe while violence broke out, the same way they said the Naira redesign was under control while banks burned, the same way they said subsidy removal would bring growth while prices doubled and salaries stayed flat. Are you starting to see the pattern? This isn't the first time Nigerian leaders have waved away warnings, and sadly, it won't be the last. We've seen it before, in the Northeast, when villagers warned that strange movements were happening in the bush. Government officials said it was exaggerated. 2 weeks later, a town was overrun. We saw it during the Sabar Ensars protests, when the youth raised red flags about rogue elements in the police. Instead of reform, the government responded with silence and then with bullets. Even during the COVID-19 pandemic, when early alerts were raised, the official line was, "We are prepared." We all remember how that turned out. It's become a dangerous tradition in Nigeria. Downplay, deny, deflect, until it's too late. So when the government says Abuja is safe, people aren't reassured. They're nervous because we've learned the hard way that when the government says don't panic, it usually means we should panic. Let's talk about why this matters. Abuja is not just a city. It is the heart of Nigeria, the center of government, the seat of power. If Abuja falls, even symbolically, the entire nation trembles. That's why any security concern, no matter how small, must be handled with humility, not ego. But what do we get instead? Messaging. The minister says, Abuja remains one of the safest capitals in the world. Let's pause right there. On what basis? Compared to what? Have we forgotten that in 2022, terrorists attacked a presidential guard unit in Bwari, less than 45 minutes from Aso Rock? Have we forgotten the ISWAP threat in 2023 that forced several schools in Abuja to shut down? Where is this fantasy of perfect safety coming from? And if Abuja is truly that safe, why do foreign missions keep issuing advisories year after year? Let's look at the pattern. In October 2022, both the US and the UK issued security warnings about a potential terrorist attack in Abuja. Several embassies shut down temporarily. What did Nigeria say? There's no cause for alarm. In March 2024, the UN released a global alert on African capitals due to spillover effects from Middle Eastern conflicts. Again, Abuja made the list. What did our officials say? Nigeria is not affected. Now again in 2025, same script, different day. But the danger is not just the threats, it's the erosion of trust. Nigerians don't trust their government's version of reality anymore because the same people who deny security problems are the ones who deny inflation, deny unemployment, deny election rigging. And when people stop trusting the government's words, even truthful warnings become meaningless. That's how systems collapse, not with bombs, but with disbelief. Let's be brutally honest. The reason foreign governments issue these warnings is because they have to protect their citizens and because they no longer believe our leadership will give them accurate risk assessments. That's the truth nobody wants to say. It's not just about fear, it's about credibility. And right now, Nigeria's leadership has a credibility problem. It's hard to believe the same people who can't protect Kaduna-Abuja trains will protect diplomats. It's hard to believe the same government that lost track of 1,000 escapees from Kuje prison will stay ahead of a coordinated attack. It's hard to believe the same institutions that couldn't prevent a bomber from entering a Borno market will detect a sophisticated plot in the capital. And so, people turn to embassies, people turn to foreign media, people turn to Twitter, blogs, even rumor, because official channels have failed them. That's why even when there's no confirmed threat, these advisories matter. They fill the vacuum created by government silence, and that vacuum is the real threat. The response shouldn't be defensiveness. It should be reform. Reform in how our security agencies communicate. Reform in how our intelligence is verified and shared. Reform in how our leaders speak to the people during tense times. Because the more you deny what everyone can see, the more people stop listening when it really counts. Let's look at the bigger picture. What happens when international investors see repeated advisories and repeated government denial? They pull out, they redirect, they hesitate. What happens when citizens see that their government values image more than their safety? They lose faith, they disengage, they start to believe the worst, that nobody is in charge. And when that happens, even the truth becomes powerless. Let me be clear, Nigeria is not doomed. But Nigeria is in danger, not just from terrorism, but from leadership that refuses to evolve. The world is changing fast. Security threats are global now. One conflict in the Middle East can affect intelligence in West Africa. And if Nigeria doesn't build a transparent, responsive, and trusted security culture, it will keep falling behind, even in peacetime. So no, the U.S. Embassy didn't insult Nigeria. They did what Nigeria's own government should have done: acknowledge risk, prepare the people, increase vigilance, share responsibility. Instead, our leaders chose to perform strength, and in doing so, revealed weakness. Let's be honest with ourselves. Nigeria is not short of brave people. We are not short of intelligence officers. We are not short of soldiers, patriots, analysts, or citizens who care. What we are short of is leadership that tells the truth. Every time a bomb goes off, they say, investigation has commenced. Every time a foreign embassy raises an alarm, they say, everything is under control. Every time citizens demand accountability, they say, don't spread panic. But the truth is, panic doesn't come from the people. Panic comes from the government's refusal to face facts. You cannot lead a nation of over 200 million people with ego. You cannot build trust by gaslighting the very people you swore to protect. If you walk the streets of Abuja today, you will not see confidence. You will see caution. Hotels have security dogs. Malls have bag scanners. Churches assign volunteers to patrol perimeters. Why? Because Nigerians know what the government won't admit. We are always one step away from disaster. And the only reason we haven't crumbled is because the people are holding the country together themselves. Let's make this very clear. This is not about the U.S. Embassy. This is not about foreign panic. This is about our reality and the government's inability to speak to that reality with honesty. And this problem goes deeper than just security. It's part of a bigger culture of denial that's killing this country from within. When inflation hits, they say it's temporary. When the Naira crashes, they say market forces. When youth protest, they say it's foreign influence. When journalists report, they say fake news. When foreign investors leave, they say we don't need them. It's always a cover-up, always spin, always excuses. And now, with terrorism still haunting our borders and foreign embassies locking down, we're still pretending, still managing perception, still obsessed with looking stable instead of being stable. But Nigerians are tired. We are not asking for miracles. We are asking for honesty. If there is a threat, say it. If there is no threat, prove it. If Abuja is safe, let Nigerians feel it, not just hear it, because this gap between words and experience is growing too wide. And the wider it gets, the more this country slips into silent chaos. Let me speak directly to the Nigerian government. This is your job. Your job is not to fight embassies. Your job is not to silence criticism. Your job is to protect lives, not narratives, to build confidence, not illusions. You don't gain the people's trust by declaring everything is fine. You gain it by telling them the truth and preparing them to act. To every Nigerian watching this, the truth is, we must stop expecting the government to do all the protecting, because their biggest protection is themselves. We have to protect each other. That means stay alert, be your neighbor's keeper, report suspicious activity, stay informed, not just from foreign advisories, but from local stories, citizen reports, independent journalists. Don't wait for a minister to tell you what you already feel, because in today's Nigeria, your instincts might be the first line of defense. And to those in government who still think controlling the message is the same as controlling the country, you are wrong. Nigeria doesn't need stronger spin. Nigeria needs stronger systems. If you want to rebuild trust, start by telling the truth. If you want the world to respect you, don't argue with embassies. Show results. If you want peace, don't just declare it, deliver it. Until then, Nigerians will remain vigilant, because in a country where truth is hidden, vigilance is survival.